In Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our sports med specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on at advancedlifeclinic.com.
And you can watch Peyton and Eli's take on the game on ESPN2.
SEC football fans love their Saturday rituals, and SEC Nation loves being a part of them. Join Tim Tebow.
I'm excited for this. This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hey, pleasant good Wednesday evening to you. Welcome into The Drive. We are 2 hours away from tip-off. I am inside Neville Arena on the campus of Auburn University, getting ready for the exhibition between the Auburn Tigers and the UAH Chargers. Myself and Scott Tyson will bring you the action here inside the arena. Wes Neighbors is back in the studios of 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and we've got a full show on tap for you today. I had a chance to talk with Crimson Tide head football coach Nick Saban. It is Teleconference Wednesday, and the teleconference was a tad bit more populated than it has been in the previous weeks. For the first time, we heard from Auburn head football coach Cadillac Williams, and was really impressed with Coach Williams in what is a very difficult situation down here on the Plains. Spoke about that with Coach Drankowitz, as well as a few others. Jimbo Fisher, who spent some time down here on the Plains as well. But coming up on the program today, in hour number 2, he is the millennial snowflake. He is T-Bob Hebert. He is going to join us in hour number 2. We'll also hear from Crimson Tide head football coach Nick Saban, as his final address to the media comes up in about an hour. We'll carry that live for you. But after our first time out, we will catch up with Coach Jerry Glanville. West Neighbors, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Is Lane Kiffin sitting beside you down there?
Well, let's go ahead and start there. I did not get a chance to talk to the Easter Bunny, but here's how it started on the SEC teleconference.
Hey, Lane. As someone who appears to be well-versed in the musings of the Internet, I'm sure you've seen your name listed as a potential candidate for the Auburn job. If Auburn were to be interested in you, would you have interest in them?
Yeah, we don't really comment on those things, and they happen every year a lot of times, and all they are is a product of players performing well and assistant coaches. So we're extremely happy here. Got something really special going. Have great support here from the administration and the chancellor. So, and just trying to get better to get ready to play best program in the last 10 years of college football coming in here.
Yeah, thanks for the answer.
So it's the non-answer answer.
That's shaky. I mean, his voice was shaky.
We're figuring out what kind of pine I'm going to make the box out of.
I'm going to take up for my dude on that. So Tommy Tuberville said he was coming out in a pine box. They had promised a bunch of stuff they were going to build. The next day they reneged and said it was going to be a couple of years before they could get that done. And so that's why he changed his mind and went to Auburn. So, that we all don't know. Now, he shouldn't have said the pine box thing in the first place, right? I mean, but
correct.
You just sometimes you overkick your coverage of what you say. Never say never, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so. But that, Kiffin's voice was breaking. He'd been practicing what he was going to say, and he's very complimentary. But what happens if Auburn? First of all, Auburn's going to have to pay somebody. If any of these guys they get, they're going to go about $7.5 million. It's going to cost him. They're going to have. They cannot mess up with this if they want to hire the people they're talking about hiring. They can't mess up because it's going to be a Jimbo situation if they do. They're not going to be able to get rid of him if he has a losing season.
Yeah.
Those days will be over. So this is a very important hire. It has to be a good fit. Kiffin's, he's flaky. We all know that. But he's a brilliant guy. He understands football. He understands how to win. And his players like him. He identifies with them a little different than most people. And I think he has matured as much as he's going to. He also might be just about to get a raise from Ole Miss. So if you're careful what you say. So I'm wanting to know if somebody from Ole Miss wrote that for him and he's been practicing it, or Jimmy.
Sure
wrote
didn't
that
sound
for him,
like it.
Right?
Sure didn't sound like it.
Jimmy wrote that for him, his agent, and thinking he's going to get a new, a raise. He's making $4-point-something million right now. He frees another candidate's making $5 million. You're gonna have to beat it. I'm thinking it'd be in the $7.5 million.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, to get one of these guys to go there, and so and it's going to be one of those things where, hey, I'm gonna meet, I don't want to have a losing season next year. It's got to be a long contract.
Yep.
Because I don't care who gets there. 6-6 next year at Auburn is successful. Next year we've seen what Tennessee's doing now. We've but Tennessee, don't be fooled. I think you got a good team and you could get to the mountaintop, but you're not there yet. You're only halfway there, right? I mean, if you think about it, being number one now, Mississippi State was number one at one time here. Ole Miss was number one at one time here. So, there's a long road to go.
I did want to play a little bit of Cadillac, just his opening statement in today's press conference.
This has been a bittersweet 48 hours. There are coaches and staff that lost their jobs, on Monday. So it's been tough and certainly not easy. But Lord, no, I'm definitely appreciate Coach Harsin for what he gave to Auburn, our team, the last 2 years. I'm truly, truly thankful for this opportunity he gave me to be part of his staff. So, I'm just honored for this opportunity as someone who bleeds orange and blue. And this school has given me everything. I just truly, truly feel like, man, that that the good Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm in this seat for a reason. But boys, I want to kind of get that off my chest to start. But boys, this team, us traveling, going in down to play Mississippi State, man, we're excited. We are definitely excited and looking forward to playing a really good, feels good, really good team.
So that was the opening comment from now interim head coach Cadillac Williams. And I will say, after hearing, it was 13 minutes and we get allotted 10, but he was as genuine as you could possibly expect. You could hear the emotion in his voice throughout of what this opportunity means to him moving forward, being a kid from Birmingham who went to Auburn, made a name for himself here down on the plains at Auburn, and now gets an opportunity to be a head coach.
Yeah, he's from Gadsden anyway.
That's right, yes.
So, but, he's a head coach for 4 games with -5 coaches.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him, to be honest with you, what he's about to go through. But I like his attitude. So, but this is not his chance, right? He's not getting a chance.
It really doesn't feel that way, does it?
No. I mean, it's all. I'm sure he's a positive. All football players think. I never played a game I thought we were going to lose. I'm sure he'll be the same way. I mean, they don't think like that. You can't think like that.
No, you can't.
He was a hell of a player, and what I've been told, he's a hell of a person. I mean, a lot of Auburn people I've talked to said that Cadillac would be a guy to hold the fort, but he sounded like he might have a chance to get the job in that what he said.
Yeah.
You read what he says, and I don't think that's the case, but. We'll see how they do against Mississippi. I mean, Mississippi State is not an easy team to get ready for. The good news is they kept their defensive coordinator, right? They kept their defensive coordinator.
Yes,
we'll
they did. The most obvious question to me wasn't asked, and who's calling plays?
Well, yeah,
in fact, I was asking people down here at Auburn. They don't know.
Well,
they don't know.
Well, okay. So Will Friend's the offensive coordinator. So I'm sure Will Friend's the acting offensive coordinator. He's a guy knows a lot of football. He'll probably be calling the plays. I would assume. I think they're co-coordinators. Who's the other guy? The other guy, Auburn dude.
It's Ike Hilliard.
Ike
who
Hilliard
played,
from
I believe
LSU.
he was a receiver at Florida back.
Florida, Ike Hilliard.
Florida
There's a bunch of
Sprayer
Hilliards
days.
from LSU.
Yeah, blue and orange. Orange and blue.
Yeah. It's purple and gold, but anyway. But
he played at
Ike
Florida.
Hilliard. So those guys have played a lot of football. The problem is the players. I mean, so you can't just change your offense overnight, right?
No.
So I think that, but they've been in the game plan and they've been doing it. What happens is going to be interesting is where is everybody? Is the offensive line coach going to be in boxing? Who's on the field? Who's going to adjust? I mean, who's going to be able to write the adjustments on? Mississippi State is very multiple on defense. They blitz from every direction known to man. Who's going to draw the new blitz they ran to pick it up? I mean, it's got a lot of questions there, But these guys they're shorthanded. They're going to be working hard. But it would make my year if Cadillac Williams Well, I don't know about make my year if he went 4-0,
Well,
but if he went
at
3-1,
at
that'd
one
be fine.
point during the teleconference, he did kind of go there saying, I don't know what to expect of win total-wise. He even said winless. And so, I mean, he was very honest with the media today on the difficulty of this situation.
I just heard what you played.
Yeah,
and all I can say is, what if he goes undefeated? What happens?
Oh, my
then?
goodness.
Yeah, right?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so that would be
a heck of a story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would. It'd be, so far this year, it's been easy to be on the radio. We've had plenty to talk about.
With that being said, we need to take our first time out. Coach Jerry Glanville is set to join us on the other side. We will be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Carrier Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
Paid for by the committee to elect Sam Gavan, 100 Washington Street, Huntsville, Alabama 35801.
For the last 4 years, Sam Gavan has been working for you here in Madison County. As a state senator, Sam Gavan has fought to keep taxes low and fought against government expansion. Sam Gavan has also successfully advocated for additional funds for roads and bridges in Huntsville and Madison County. And he's worked with Governor Ivey to bring more jobs and industry to Huntsville. We need Sam Gavan to keep working for us in the state Senate. The failed policies of Joe Biden have led to record inflation and higher prices on everything. We don't need to expand his policies here in Alabama. We need Sam Gavan. He's a conservative who has fought for real-world solutions to protect the families of Madison County. Sam Gavan has also worked with Governor Ivey to fight back against the bad policies of the Biden administration. And Sam Gavan will always fight for us. Vote to keep Sam Gavan working for us. On November 8th, vote Sam Gavan for State Senate.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here on this Wednesday edition of The Drive, I am down on the plains getting ready for the exhibition matchup between Auburn and UAH. That tips at 7 o'clock tonight as we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Coach Jerry Glanville, kind enough to join us. What do you say, Coach? How are you?
Well, I'm doing good, but we got in trouble the last show we did, so we got to straighten that out.
Uh-oh.
You asked me if I'd ever been anywhere where they stormed the field.
Yep.
And I guess because I wasn't on the field, I was in the press box calling the defenses. But lo and behold, people sent me photographs of the 78 Falcons' first playoff game in Atlanta versus Dick Vermeil in the Eagles. They tore the goalpost down.
I've never heard of that in the NFL.
Not only that, Wes, they stayed on the field for hours. They couldn't get anybody to leave. And the reason it didn't come, the reason I was up in the press box, not on the field, never felt the people coming. Of course, never felt, I was in any danger because I was way up there. And lo and behold, I told you all I hadn't been there. Well, people sent me photographs and asked if I was getting senile.
Man.
Never the case. Never the case.
No, I was sharp as a tack.
Well, what we had was I had photographs when I did my estate sale of the people that were tearing down the goalposts, and I asked the people, I said, we're selling everything in the estate sale. If you're tearing down the goalpost, come get your picture. And sure enough, they did.
I thought for certain I was going to get a cool hand look. Well, what we have here is a failure to communicate.
I like it. I got to thinking maybe you were at the game, but you only would have been 2 years old.
No, I was not at the game, Coach. I wish I could have been at the game, but no, I was not at that game.
But Dick Vermeil talked about it forever because I switched the strong safety. He had a great, big, tall wide receiver at the Eagles, and I put the safety to the corner on him.
Harold Carmichael.
How about your coach? I put our strong safety on the wideout because he was a jammer and could hold him up at the line. And then we ran what Dick Vermeil saw in 1978. We ran zone blitz. And Dick Vermeil later on, somewhere in the station, some dog stuff's really new and exciting. And he said, "No, Glanville ran out on us in 1978.
Well, Coach, let's get into it.
I'm impressed with Wes knowing Carmichael's name. I'm going to send you probably a coupon, $50 off on your next police car.
He'll take it.
I'll take it. I'm going to eat all I can get.
It is semifinal Saturday, for lack of a better term. You want to dive into Tennessee and Georgia? What do you think about that matchup, Coach?
I wish Tennessee was as good as where they're ranked, but they're not. And I think the coach should be Coach of the Year. He's doing such a good job fooling everybody where the ball is going and things of that sort. But like the Alabama game, like the game in Georgia, there's nobody on Tennessee's team that Alabama recruited or wanted, and the same with Georgia. and when you look at the talent level is higher at Alabama and Georgia than it'll be at Tennessee for maybe another 2 years. If Tennessee continues to win and recruits, they still won't catch him. So for him to win again, he would have to outcoach. What's the guy that used to be at Alabama on the sideline, was in charge of the clipboard? Kirby something.
Kirby Smart.
Yeah. Well, like he outcoached Saban, he'll have to outcoach Smart because he will be out personnel. So I don't know why the group that decided where they put Tennessee number 1, and I think it's because they're infatuated with 49 points a game.
Well, they also, it was their strength of schedule, and as they said, it's right. It's as of this day. So far, from this day back, they've played the hardest schedule. They're undefeated. They beat Alabama. So that's kind of what I get why they're number 1. But I'm like you,
my problem,
the eye test.
My problem, Wes, I looked at Ohio State's schedule and Michigan's schedule. They only have to play each other. There is nobody there. You, me, and Steve, we could rally up and beat that other group they're playing. Holy cow. They're terrible.
So you like Georgia this weekend? Is that what I'm hearing?
Now, in my mind, I like Tennessee simply because I lived there and went through that 5 years of hell. We went through 5 years of the worst hirings in the history of football. I think some of them were from Alabama. I can't believe it. And now that they're back, I'd like to see them succeed. All I'm saying is be careful. Can you be number 1 in the nation and be number 96 in defense? That's the question. Now, Georgia is 1, 2, and 3 in every defensive category. Can they? So it's a heck of a matchup. The number 1 offense against the number 1, 2, 3 defense. But there's nobody on Tennessee that Georgia recruited or wanted.
Well, so
I'm sure
what's
they'd
the
like
line,
to get.
Steve?
It's Georgia by 9. It's
wow.
reeled back to 8, but it started out at 9. I think Georgia would like Hyatt. I think a lot of people would like number 11, Coach.
But they did not. What I'm saying is, it was a developmental thing. Nobody wanted to, because I don't know if you know this. In high school, Hyatt couldn't catch a cold. He had great speed, and nobody went after him and recruited him. He could not catch. And thank gosh somebody, I think it was Wes's daddy, invented the jugs machine, and they put 1,000 balls on him every day. And by the way, I was disappointed in him last week. He thought he got hurt. I don't know if you saw him over on the sideline. Come on, son, get up.
Yeah.
And the people around me said, "What do you think is hurt?" And I says, he probably hurt himself mentally, not physically. He hurt his feelings.
So Coach, you look at Tennessee, and they remind me of the LSU team that kind of nobody believed in, and then they just kept winning with a really good quarterback, and the players ended up being a little better than everybody thought they were around them.
Yes.
Like the offensive line is playing better. The defense is showing out, really, compared to what they were supposed to be before the season. And they've had some holes. Like 21, the defensive lineman's playing so well. The big guy, I forget his name. But, they had these guys that I remember talking in the preseason, Steve, talking about the Tennessee defensive lineman, and he said, we don't have any.
Yeah.
Well, here's what shocked me. Kentucky, by the way, did that quarterback look like the third guy off the board in the Tennessee game? Did that quarterback look like the first quarterback picked? Absolutely not. But I found out Kentucky's offensive line was so stiff they couldn't pick up stunts. Wes will know what I'm talking about. ETs, TEs, the lineman could not switch off the stunt, and it killed off the quarterback, and it saved the secondary. I've never seen a stiffer line in pass protection versus tricks and stunts than I saw from Kentucky.
Yeah.
West,
you
got to be able to pick those stunts up.
If you can't, you're done. Yeah. Hats off to Tennessee. They run them really well. But you have to pick them up, or you're going to get beat by everybody. Anybody any good, that you're going to get beat.
Well, to go back to what Steve said, they didn't think they had any D linemen, and I think if you go speed to power, Steve, or quick outside edge, you're correct. But they're knocking the guard off to free the tackle with the end. They are doing things. Coaching that has overcome their lack of great ability.
No question.
Yeah. And then
you're
confidence.
The right end, Steve. You're the right end, and wet tackle. As we come up the field, Steve, cross the face of the tackle, and you block the guard to come through. That's what's going on.
Yeah, and they're doing it but you gotta know it's coming. I mean, most times you can tell by alignment if they're going to do it.
In the NFL, if we're going to run that, you never run that against your own whole line because you can hurt somebody. And I think in practice, we'd walk through if we're going to pick the guard or pick the tackle. You don't do a lot. Then you get in a game, and Kentucky got so confused and stiff that you could have been one quarter. Even free safety.
Coach, wherever you're at right now, you need to move because your cell phone is breaking up.
Now? Am I better now?
Yes.
I get so excited talking to you two. I get up and walk around, and the first thing you know, somebody will give me a job as a mailman.
I did want to talk a minute with you about Alabama and LSU. This is an LSU team that has improved quite a bit, Coach.
It's kind of fun. You two will love this. I got a hold of everybody that loves me, and I love in Baton Rouge. And I said, finally, after all the wait, you'll have a great coach in your stadium. Of course, he'll be on the other sideline. They have since thrown me out of the club. The only thing LSU has to overcome is their head coach, and I don't know if they can. Don't forget he makes a decision whether to go for one or two and can't do it correctly. So, but I'm like you. This is not the LSU team we saw a month ago. Much, much better football team, much better quarterback. So I think they have the capability, they have the talent to fight Alabama. But Alabama still, I told people today, everybody wanted Alabama down, rated fifth, below TCU. Since Alabama can win the national championship easier than anybody. Why would you say that? They have the best quarterback in the nation. Do I love Hooker? I love Hooker last year. But he's not the Alabama quarterback.
I have to agree. I think number 11 has some kind of, for Tennessee Hyde, I think he has some kind of ability.
He has a cloak, an invisibility cloak.
To totally cloak and run down because nobody ever covers him. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. He's been the best player in the last 3 games, and Kentucky let him lose twice.
He reminds me of you when we were in Houston. At Halloween, you threw that cape over you, and you got all the candy and ran off.
So, Coach, I've been watching little highlights of the 1978 playoff game.
Wow.
That y'all won 14-13.
Woo. And that's,
yeah. Now they missed. Philadelphia missed a field goal that would have won the game at the end. But let me tell you this: Atlanta had four or five turnovers in the game, and you held them to 13. That's pretty damn good.
Well, our offense our offense, our longest run that year was the huddle break. But it was the first playoff game in Falcon history, and the great Dick Vermeer rolled in with that giant wide receiver, and Jaws was the quarterback. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we were lucky enough to be. They had the ball to beat us, I'm going to say, at about the 40-yard line. And threw three of them, before they missed that field goal, threw three of them in the end zone. And all three plays, you two would love this, we sent 8 people after the quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm watching. You sacked the quarterback. You had the nose guard. You walked the linebacker up. Those two guys took out the 3 interior linemen, and you had the linebacker go straight to the quarterback from the other side. He X'd in and sacked the quarterback.
Well, that's what we couldn't play. We couldn't cover. If you can't cover, then don't let the quarterback throw. That was my fault. Made me a multimillionaire. Before I met Wes, I had a lot of money. I can't believe you can pull that game up. It's awesome.
Can't believe what now?
That he can pull up the game as we're talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting watching it.
YouTube is a powerful thing, Coach.
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber.
I'm going to have to learn how to do that.
Yeah, you do, because
Now,
you can watch every game. I mean, it's like you don't get the end zone copy or anything, but you can watch it and run it back and on your own time.
What happened to me here, they put me and Jim Leland in the Ohio Hall of Fame together. And Jim Leland, of course, is baseball when I was football. And, I guess it was, 40 years after we got out of school. And so they said, it's so exciting to put you two in the Hall of Fame. And I said, well, what took so damn long? They said we had to be sure all the film was burned and nobody could look at it.
Well, I cannot help but at least segue to how about your first place Atlanta Falcons? I mean, I know it's a little bit of fool's gold, but nonetheless, it's a nice thing to say in November, Coach.
Well, I think what's happened is the entire group over there can't play. We didn't know the Saints wouldn't be able to play. And of course, what was really funny, if the Panthers would have won, they'd have been in first place, and they already fired the coach for not winning.
I know. Yeah.
And I said, if they win, that coach needs to come back.
And they missed an extra point and a field goal in overtime.
And the guy took his helmet off to change the game. And then they decided 2 days later that wasn't – I don't know if you knew that, because he was the zone.
Outside of the end zone.
Yeah. You wonder when some of these officials are going to join in with the rules.
That's the truth.
Well, it says Mr. Not for Long.
Better than that, I don't know about you two, but I watched Chastain get in the NASCAR playoffs hitting the wall. Did you?
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I go 15 years. I never thought of that. If I go back, I'm going to try it.
That was the dangest thing I've ever seen. It looks like something out of a video game, and that's what he said that they originally got it. Some guy did it last year, and then the guy that did it last year was
number 5.
Yeah, he was complaining that this guy did it this year.
Yeah, he absolutely was, because he didn't make it. He wrecked. And what surprised me is he took his hands off the steering wheel. I don't know that I would have done that driving all those years, but he was getting such a reaction on his hands running the wall. He took his hand, and he's running 70 miles an hour faster than everybody he was passing. That's awesome.
So how can you take your hands off the wheel? What does that do?
Well, it was hung up on the wall, and that kept it on the wall. and he said he couldn't even hold on to the steering wheel; it was shaking so bad. And I thought, gosh, I wish I'd have thought of that. That was just awesome.
That was great. Have you not seen it, Steve? It's
oh
crazy.
yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
It looks like
It reminds me of the day when you wanted to race my motorcycle with your police car. By the way, I was waiting for y'all to bring me in, and some Ford company is your sponsor. Who is that?
That's Woody Anderson Ford.
Anderson.
Now, did you buy the police car from Woody?
I sure did. Yeah, I sure
Call
did.
Woody up. Call Woody Collect and tell him you and me want 2 more. And I tell you what, we'll run off to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man. Yep.
I got something
was
for
it
you.
Woody's been long gone.
What do you got for me, Coach?
Okay, everybody in Georgia, they still talk about and they love Herschel Walker. And Herschel Walker is the greatest. And it doesn't matter, they got a statue of it. If you go over there for a home game, when there's a timeout, they show movies of Herschel Walker. Have they forgot about Chubb? Chubb is the best pro
Boy,
back
he is really good.
for 4 years running, West.
I know
4 years.
I mean, he I don't know. They finally starting to figure out new ways to use him, and I don't think he can be stopped, really.
No. And it's kind of funny. He made a long run, and he's in the end zone. He knows it's a touchdown. And the guy's been chasing him forever. He goes, hell, I'm going to. And he blasts him in the end zone anyway. And he still doesn't go down. He wasn't even ready.
Oh, man. Well, I guess they were 3rd and 2, and they run the ball up the middle, and he just, instead of going left or right of the guy, he just hit it right in the chest with his helmet. And it just smoked him. But, Coach, so they were playing Cincinnati, and I think, how many times did Cincinnati run the ball in the game? They're going to get him killed. You said the week before the best way to and everybody's getting on the offensive line. They don't have a prayer.
No, not a prayer. Now, here was my next question for Steve, if he has a memory. His memory's better than yours, Wes. You got hit in the head too much. Okay, Steve. Who was in last year's Super Bowl? 2 teams.
The Bengals were literally a play away from winning that Super Bowl.
With the Rams.
And then the Rams would be the ones that won it in their home building.
Okay, why did I ask such a simple question? Watch the pass protection of both teams and tell me how you can go from Super Bowl contenders to total complete pretenders. As you would know, Wes, no pass protection or running game for the Rams or the Bengals.
Yep.
And the
Bengals are also missing Jamar Chase right now, too.
And a year ago, we said these 2 teams would dominate forever. Didn't last long.
No, it didn't. But they lost some really key people.
Not for long.
Now, here's the last thing for y'all in the NFL. You want to go college or NFL?
Let's go college.
Okay. Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss a better job than Auburn? Auburn's going to go after the Ole Miss head coach. And I'm sitting here, you two know better than me. Is Ole Miss, you represent the state, you're the number 1 in the state. You can be at Auburn the rest of your life. You're not the number 1 in the state. I'm talking about recruiting. I'm not talking about playing.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the SEC, am I better at Ole Miss or am I better at Auburn?
That's the question I ask. We get you could argue a lot of different ways. Malzahn and Chiswick, Coach Tuberville was undefeated one year. I mean, they've had really good teams the last 20 years and have been more consistent than Ole Miss has in having those teams. To me, if I'm not leaving Ole Miss, if they're paying me $5 million. I might act like I might go to Auburn so I can get $7 million.
You're too smart.
Yeah, but I'm not going because of the what's happened to the last two coaches. I mean, they fired the last two coaches, and I don't think either one of them really got a fair shake. Yeah.
No. But if they go hire the guy at Liberty, he knows how to beat Saban.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, no doubt. But, Coach, he just signed a $5 million contract.
Who are you talking about?
Hugh Freeze.
You tell me Liberty's paying $5 million?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They got a lot of donations.
I just fell off the couch and hit myself on the head. I've got to get back in get me a job tomorrow.
Well, I've been down here on the plains all day, Coach, so I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah.
He's
down there right now.
I don't really need a job. I need an interview with a buyout.
That might be the right spot there.
Coach, we always appreciate the time.
Question.
Yes.
Let's go pro. Let's talk about the 49ers. They're trying to make a run, and they make a trade for McCaffrey. And they trade every draft pick they got.
They did.
And he comes aboard. Did either one of you get to watch it?
Yeah, he was good.
Yes.
He played unbelievable.
Ran for one, passed for one, a little bit of everything.
And caught for one.
Caught for one, exactly, yeah. Coach, you know why they gave up all that? Because the Rams were going to get him. The Rams were about to trade for him, and San Francisco said, we're not going to let them have him. And, yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game at the Rams because I always shock you two. That was the head coach, Shanahan, beating the head coach over at McVay 8-0 in the regular season. 8-0.
Wow, I did not know that.
And nobody does. I'm trying to keep everybody awake, but they keep falling asleep.
Hey, so they said Sean McVay, if you give him he can remember every play. He has a photograph of every. Have you seen that?
No.
It's crazy. I mean, he remembers every play. If you give him basically the situation, he can tell you what game it was and how much time was on the clock and what the whole 9 yards. It's crazy. They did it on a special on him.
Well, I'm just about the same when they ask me about your plays.
Yeah.
They can say, what about West against Pittsburgh? Let me tell you about the left foot. He took that left foot jab. I've got all that locked up in my mind.
Well, Coach, we are over time, but we always appreciate the time you give us, sir.
Okay, Falcons #1, last chance. Who wins, Tennessee or Georgia?
I'm going to say the Dogs are going to find a way to slow down the Vols. So I'm going to go Georgia.
Georgia in a close one.
I say Tennessee cannot stop Georgia's passing. So Georgia wins. All right, last one. Alabama, LSU.
Tide doesn't lose in Baton Rouge.
Boy, if Bama is prone to turning the football over in 17 penalties, I think it's going to be close, but I've got Bama in a close one.
Okay, here's me. Gets down to that Notre Dame coach has to make the right decision, so Alabama wins. That sums up that, sir.
Hey, Coach, you get us a job making $7.5 million a year, I'll get you all the police cars you want.
I want you two to give me an interview. If I get interviewed, I always get the job. That's the problem. So if you give me an interview, I'll get the job.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach. Thank
you. We are way over time. Trudy Harmon, I can hear him there in studio. We're going to talk to Drew coming up on the other side. We'll also hear from head coach Nick Saban, and we've got fully loaded phone lines as well. We'll hear from you on the other side on this Wednesday edition of The Drive. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Morning cloud cover should give way to a fair amount of sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s, dropping just into the low and mid-50s as we head into the overnight early Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine Thursday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic day. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Many of us making a solid run at 80 degrees. Pretty confident we're going to fall just shy. We're going to repeat this process again on Friday. Plenty of sunshine Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Our next small opportunity for rain builds into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Chris Stewart. The quest for a 19th championship starts this fall. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Always love talking to Coach Glanville and really appreciate the time he gives us each and every week, and feel like he texts me more than I text him, Wes. But I can report to you that the student section down here at Neville Arena is full. So it's basketball season down here on the Plains. Drew DeArmond is there in studio. And Drew, let's start out of the gate by I saw a big announcement came today for the Crimson Tide, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's going on, Steve? How are you?
I'm doing very well. Let's talk about those Crimson Tide and a certain quarterback making an announcement today.
Yeah, they got a 5-star QB committed, Julian Sayin from Carlsbad, California. About 6'1", 185, 190. This is his third year, playing extensively with second, I think, full year starting. He's played since he was in 9th grade, but he's considered a 5-star, probably the top player in California in the 2024 class, a top 15 kid in the country overall. Huge commitment for Alabama this early. They're taking 2 quarterbacks in the 23 cycle because of the likely outcome of course, with Jalen Milroe and then of Ty Simpson. So, but they're going ahead and getting the quarterback committed early in the 24 group to help them recruit. And this kid's really impressive on film. He kind of reminds me of a cross between Ty Simpson and Bryce. He moves really well. He throws accurately on the run. I don't know if he quite has Ty's arm strength, but it's impressive. He got a really high football IQ, and again, his family's lived all over the United States, but he got it down to where he really wanted to play in the SEC. It was going to be Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, and it finished in that order, I think.
Well, I think the thing Alabama that we're trying to focus on is
was the top 2.
How do you maintain
Coach Nick
intensity?
Saban.
Whether you maintain your intensity in practice, whether you maintain your intensity in a game, but everybody's going to lose their intensity every now and then. So really, when you get in situations, you got to pound your chest or whatever you got to do to regain momentum, regain, the mental focus you need to do to maintain intensity, because that's really the only way that you can sustain performance. So even days like today, it's a little warmer. We've had good practices all week. It's a challenge for guys to maintain their intensity, and it's a choice that everybody has to make. Nobody chooses to win. Nobody really chooses to lose. But you do have the freedom to choose what you want to do and how you want to do it. And I think that's the most important thing that players can do. And everybody has a choice to do that in whatever they do in their life. So that's what we're trying to get our players to do so that we can sustain and maintain intensity throughout the season. Obviously, it's rivalry game, playing on the road, good team. So it's going to be really important that we can do that.
Charlie?
Kind of piggybacking off that intensity, is there a way to maybe combat being too tight, like you mentioned before the Tennessee game? Is that maybe something you detected this week, the guys being...
No, not at all. I think, it's what you attach yourself to. People attach themselves to winning, but if you attach yourself to winning, you're actually attaching yourself to outcome, which can actually create anxiety. I'd like for the players to attach themselves to, what do I have to do to play my best, to prepare the best, to be ready to go and play with confidence and understanding of what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to do it, why I'm supposed to do it that way, and go play fast and do that one play at a time. And then that helps you get the result that you obviously want. So attaching yourself to doing the things you need to do to be a productive player is, I think, much more effective and even more fun, when you're a competitor and you go out and play that way to try to, when you say dominate your box, you do it one play at a time. So, and that's really why it's important to maintain the focus and intensity that way.
Just how effectively do you feel like the offense has been able to use the speed that it has at wide receiver so far this season?
I don't think it's really fair to assess anything that the offense has done because we've been a little bit left-handed ever since, Bryce got hurt in the Arkansas game. He basically hadn't been able to practice for however many weeks, 3 weeks, and played pretty well in 2 games. But, you know, the continuity of what you do and how you build confidence and timing has been a little bit distorted by, you know, how. Now, the good news is I think it was really beneficial to the 2 backup quarterbacks. I think they've got a ton of reps, and I think that's helped them. But it's not really fair to sort of to see how we've sort of developed offensively, because probably the most important guy on the team, any team, is the quarterback, and most importantly on our team because of the quality of player Bryce is. So we've been a little bit out of sorts. So I really challenge the players to be able to do things better, whether it's run the ball, run routes better, make more explosive plays, whatever that might be. But I think it's a little bit unfair to judge anything that's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Over here with Chase. LSU's offense has been really hot lately. They scored 45 on Florida, 45 on Ole Miss. Can you put your finger on a couple of things that have helped them reach a different level?
Oh, they got good players, really good players. The quarterback's playing really, really well. They've got great balance. They've got, you know, 3 really good running backs that all share the load. They've really got talented skill guys outside, and they're very efficient and effective in the way they're executing the offense and the things that they do, and they present challenges. And I think they've got some young players playing on offense that have, you know, gotten better and better and better. 2 freshman tackles, tight end, you know, Jason Taylor's son. Those guys are playing better and better all the time too, and making plays, and are being very productive. So this is a really, really good team all the way around, and now they're starting new system offensively, lots of new players. They're starting to, you know, get confidence and believe in exactly what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, and they're playing really effectively.
You had kind of already answered it, but when you talked on Monday about how we don't really know what to expect after a bye week, after seeing the team practice a couple times, do you feel like the response after the bye week is what you were looking for?
Yeah, it's been very good. The response with the players has been very good. We practiced well, you know, all 3 days this week. So we'll see how we play, but we seem to be preparing the right way.
We'll finish up with Nick and then Tony, or Tony and Nick. I don't care.
J.C. Latham, you talked about the offensive line, how strong, you know, they've used the bye week to get better, but specifically for him throughout the season and recently, how have you seen him get better and develop as a tackle?
Who is that?
J.C. Latham.
You know, J.C.'s done a good job for us. You know, I think consistency in performance for all of us is, you know, what we're sort of striving to improve on, and I think if you were to ask any player on the team, that's probably, you know, the thing that we all need to do, and I think that's true in the offensive line, and I think, you know, that's true for JC, but we're really pleased with the way he's sort of developed and played for us this year.
What have you seen from Ja'Cory Brooks that's allowed him to have this kind of more consistent uptick in performance?
Well, you know, the guy's a real competitor. I mean, he plays great for us on special teams. I don't care what you ask him to do, what role he plays on whatever team. He does it fast, he does it hard, he prepares well. And I think, you know, he's attaching himself to the right things. And I think that's sort of showing in his production and his performance and the consistency that he's played with. Thank you, guys.
Nick Saban press conferences on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is brought to you by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Our locations in Athens and Huntsville can serve your driving needs. Whether you need a car for 2 days or a passenger van for 2 weeks, we've got you covered. Rent local, rent McCurry Van and Car.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
For 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers and we invest in supporting you. We use our own technologies to automate, to provide you the best support possible. And we have the strongest guarantees in the industry. I just can't tell you I'm going to provide you great support. I have to prove it to you with my actions.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama! Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is SportsCenter.
Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here for hour number 2. Wes Neighbors is back in the studios of 97.7 ESPN The Zone, along with Drudy Arman, who incidentally is brought to you by Environmental Comfort Systems. You can give them a call at 256-308-0032, or just online if you happen to be in your vehicle right now, envcomfort.com. I'm on the plains getting ready for an exhibition matchup, which is 49 minutes away between the Auburn Tigers and the UAH Chargers. And Wes, I will say, I've gotten some strange looks the last 15 minutes playing a Nick Saban press conference inside Neville Arena. I'm just saying.
Everybody's listening.
Yeah, clearly. Drew, I am so sorry that we cut you off right at the beginning of that press conference. But please finish your thought there on, I believe is it Sayin? Is that right?
Julian Sayin. He's from Carlsbad, California, as I said. About 6'1", 185, 190 quarterback. He's got really good mobility, moves, throws the ball well on the move. I think he's got a strong enough arm. Certainly, I'm going to try to talk to his coach, get him on the recruiting blitz, and of course talk to some people that have seen him extensively. But I like what I see on film. At least I saw the first half of his junior season. I believe they've gone 8-1. So he's a kid. His parents have lived all over the United States, but they've been in Carlsbad now for a while. But he didn't have extensive ties to the West Coast. He wanted to play in the best conference in the country. I don't blame him. Certainly, I don't think that's the Pac-12. Everybody knows what I think of that football. But he got it down to Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. And really it was Alabama, LSU, Georgia in that order. I think Alabama and LSU were the top two. Georgia, for a while, looked like the favorite until Alabama and LSU got involved. He really liked Brian Kelly and his staff. But I think Nick Saban decided to turn up the heat. He understands that Bill O'Brien will likely not be there, and Bill O'Brien did not try to mislead him in that way, in any kind of way, shape, or form. But he just looked at Alabama's lineage lately with the quarterback position since 2016, and you've got Jalen Hurts starting in the NFL, you've got Tua Tagovailoa starting in the NFL, you got Mac Jones starting in the NFL, and very soon you'll have Bryce Young as a high draft pick starting in the NFL. And so I think he just was really impressed with the quarterback development at Alabama. Felt like he could come in and compete, and decided to commit early. And Alabama, even though he didn't throw for the coaching staff, which is a little bit unusual. He did visit this summer, and then he visited again for the Mississippi State game. And Coach Saban makes all the calls on that. He decided to go ahead and take the young man, and he's again a 5-star player. And he'll be a big piece to build around and help put together this 2024 class. And a lot of times, as you've seen, Steve, schools like to get the quarterback in the class early. Even Brian Harsin, before he was dismissed, had done that with Adrian Posse in Miami, Florida. Now, we'll see what the new coach does with that, but still, that's usually what happens. And it's big for Alabama to get Julian Sayin committed this early.
Let's talk about down here on the Plains. And Cadillac was asked about, he said he has a recruiting plan.
Right.
But tell me, in your best opinion, what's going to happen to the kids that are already committed to this Auburn class?
That's hard to say because, I'll just give you an example. With Lane Kiffin, when he took over, the Ole Miss job. Robbie Ashford was committed to Ole Miss. He didn't sign with Ole Miss because Lane Kiffin wanted to go in a different direction. Actually, Robbie Ashford was recruited to play for Rich Rod in that offense, and Lane didn't see it as a fit. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new coach thinks. The biggest glaring thing, and Jason Caldwell was on the recruiting blitz this week, and there's no one that does more legwork and sees more kids in person, talks to more high school coaches from an Auburn perspective, in my opinion, than Jason Caldwell. And I've known him for a long time. He's as reasonable as anybody, in my opinion, when it comes to recruiting and giving you an honest opinion on coaches and players. And it's like he said on the show, this is one of the most star-studded classes in state history. There is over 22 plus 4- and 5-star players in this senior class in the state of Alabama, and Auburn only has 3 of the top 35 committed. And they weren't in the mix for a lot of them because Brian Harsin didn't really believe in junior days. He didn't have a great relationship with Patrick Nix, which is a death blow. Sent 30 minutes away at Central of Phoenix City, and he didn't have great relationships with many high school coaches in the state. Now, he was trying to amend it during this second season, but as Jason said, by the time he realized what he had done after his first year and what he was really needed to do, it was too late. And they weren't winning games on the field. So he couldn't win enough games to get enough time to repair things. And so the recruiting was just not going well at all. And, of course, the portal as well. And so it's going to be so key for the new coach to hit the portal really hard. And they've got an NIL collective where they can be aggressive in recruiting. And that's why the Lane train is being mentioned so prominently, because you've seen what he's done in high school recruiting. He went and got Quinshon Judkins out from under their nose. And then he, of course, flipped his roster over in the portal. So that's why he's so attractive to a lot of people. And he makes $7.5 million, which makes Jerry Glanville envious.
I thought we might have killed Coach Granville when we told him that Hugh Freeze was making $5 million at Liberty.
You should have told him. I should have turned my microphone on and said, hey, Coach Glanville, he has an 8-year fully guaranteed contract at $5 million per year. $40 million, and to see what Coach Glanville would have done.
Probably would have said something along the lines of, that's a lot of police cars.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and his buyout is minimal. He does want the Auburn job, but does Auburn want Hugh Freeze? I still think he would be the best fit. His daughter went to Auburn. He understands Auburn. He understands the SEC. He's an outstanding, offensive football coach. I think he's a better fit than Lane Kiffin. I think the Lane train ultimately either wants to get back to the NFL or eventually get the Alabama job. Do I think he'll get the Alabama job? Unlikely to me. But I do think he could get another shot at the NFL. Let me just tell y'all something. If Cliff Kingsbury is a head football coach in the National Football League, Lane Kiffin, being the son of Monty Kiffin, will get another chance. Okay? because Cliff Kingsbury, it's still hard for me to fathom that somebody that couldn't win at Texas Tech with Pat Mahomes is a head football coach in the National Football League.
Just takes one.
Exactly.
I always thought that he's a good coach, though. I always thought that that Kingsbury's
well, he's a good offensive coordinator. I think he did a great job with Johnny Boy, keeping him out of jail and on the field and playing well.
That whole team played well. There were much more than Johnny Boy on that team.
Well, I know, but they had Mike Evans. I think here's what I think of Cliff Kingsbury, Lane Kiffin, and Steve Sarkisian. Of the three guys, I think Lane's the best head coach, but I'm not sure any of the three are elite head coaches. I think they're all elite offensive coordinators, and there's a difference. Because when you slide over to the head coach's chair, it's different.
There's a lot more to worry about.
I do think Lane is probably the best head coach of the three.
Well, he's been doing it longer.
He has. But and he's still so young in effect, because you remember he was a head coach when he was late 20s.
Yes.
So he's been doing it for a long time, and he's been around his father, who I still think his father is one of the great defensive minds in the history of football.
Cover 3.
Tampa Bay Bucks had the poster on my wall, man.
Had the Tampa.
Well, that's why I did ask Lane earlier this season. Was your form of rebellion going offense instead of defense?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this: I've worked at a lot of places, sporting goods type places in my life. That was pretty much until I got the greatest job I've ever had, which is working here. That's what I did for over a decade. Let's just put it this way. At one time or another in my house, I had a full-size picture of John Lynch on my wall. That's how much I love the Bucks.
Yeah. You
certainly.
Too.
And Derek Brooks, love Derek Brooks. Yeah. I love that.
Reason. That's how
Rondé Barber.
Yeah, that's how they came up with the Tampa 2, which is
and I had an
cover
outside
2,
jersey.
and the middle linebacker runs straight back to. If the way to defeat cover 2 is to do the in route. Everybody does it. You'll see. I bet 30% of the time on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 7 or more, they run the in route, either 8, 10, wherever they can, depending on the defense and how everybody runs it. And what they do is just run a guy up the either the seam or run a guy straight up the seam, and then they'll have a guy cut over from the outside, and he just goes in to the middle of the field. And everybody's seen it. The ball comes between everybody, and he catches it. And you're like, how did he get that wide open? That's the hole in the defense in cover 2. So what they did was take the middle linebacker, instead of dropping him just a little bit, they'd run him back really deep, so he would cover the middle of that hole. And and then if you threw it back in the day, boy, you paid a price because you had a linebacker hitting you, a middle linebacker named Derek Brooks.
Oh, I tell you,
yeah,
that's the idea, and what to stop the in route. And Alabama runs it, Tennessee runs it, everybody runs it on 3rd and 6 or more. I mean, you just watch it. Well, it's coming.
I would just I know Wes. I know you know him well. I would love to ask Mickey Andrews if, in my opinion, that 93 Seminole team that won Bobby's first national championship, I know that Charlie Ward won the Heisman Trophy and all that kind of good stuff, but I think the best player was Derek Brooks. But they were never going to give him the Heisman.
Well, no, they're not going to give a guy. But, yeah, Derek Brooks was a great player. And Charlie Ward was a great college player, played it in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, he's a great
I have no problem. I mean, he was a great player.
Right,
but
yeah.
I just think Derek Brooks, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, Derek Brooks was unbelievable.
Just unbelievable
football player.
I did want to sneak in a couple of conversations that I had today in the teleconference. My apologies. I didn't start this way, but we're trying to cram what do you say, Wes? A 10-pound ham, a 20-pound ham, and a 10-pound bag.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But here is my conversation with Crimson Tide head football coach Nick Saban from earlier today. I was hoping you could speak about your offensive line. Where do you feel like they're at right now, Coach?
I think the bye week has done them well. I think we've been able to improve pretty significantly, over this week, and we'll see see and make an assessment of how they play in the game, which is what's the most important thing.
Was hoping you could also speak to Kool-Aid and his development. Where do you feel like he's at right now on your squad, Coach?
Who is that?
Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid. Yes, sir.
Yeah. He's been a pretty consistent player. I think ability to stay focused and sustain the season is always important. You know, the way you practice is important. Develop good habits in practice. So there's nobody on our team that can't improve and play better. But Kool-Aid's had a pretty consistent year to this point.
That is Crimson Tide head football coach Nick Saban. And, of course, they head to Red Stick, and that is Brian Kelly. Like your team has grown the most since the Florida State game, Coach?
We would take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There's so many areas. I just think, understanding, this was a big change for them, and adapting to the new standards on a day-to-day basis, building different habits, and just thinking right about, everything they do relative to their preparation. I think that's probably the two biggest things, and has allowed them to take their preparation to a new level, which has allowed them to perform better.
And if you could speak to what you've seen on film of Bryce Young and the challenges that he faced, that challenges your squad this weekend, Coach.
Yeah, there's no real good answer. If I had one, I certainly would be voicing it. That he is, in many instances, you can't defend him because he's so elusive and he wants to throw the football. I mean, he could take off so many times, but he's trying to find receivers down the field, and just has a great awareness, a sense. He's a true quarterback. He's not a scramble around guy that's just, throwing it up there. He's very intentional about everything that he does. He's not taking sacks. He's the Heisman Trophy winner, and he should be. He's the best player in college football.
How do you size up this matchup, Jordy Armin? Are you there, Drew?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. It was Love Child had to unmute it in there. But no, the way I see it, I heard you guys breaking it down, and I've been listening to some other radio today, just trying to get a feel for what people think. I really think Alabama's going to play well. Now, some people are nervous about the weather and the rain. I think Nick Saban's going to prepare for it. I think the players understand it. I think the players sometimes thrive in it. I don't think it's going to bother Bryce Young. I think it may make him harder to tackle. I don't think this LSU defense is great. I think in the back end they struggle. I think their front seven is good, not great. Losing Mason Smith in the first series of the first game was huge because he's a 5-star talent at defensive tackle. Now, they've had a chance to move on from him, but again, I think it's a big loss. I think Alabama is better on both lines of scrimmage. I think LSU's offensive line, just like Alabama's, is improving, but I think Alabama's is more talented. I think Alabama with Bryce Young, I know people are comparing the numbers of Jaden Daniels and Bryce Young. I still think it's a Rolls-Royce and a Pinto. I just really don't think it's a comparison. I think Bryce is – and people got to remember, Bryce missed a game and 3 quarters almost. So I think that Bryce is the best player on the field. I think Alabama's the best team. And I picked a 38-20 Alabama win and a cover. I think Alabama knows what's at stake. They've got to play their best football the next 2 games to even have a prayer of seeing either Georgia or Tennessee in Atlanta. And I said when we were at SEC Media Days that this was the amen corner of the schedule. I think the bye came at a really good time, and I think Alabama's going to be balanced. I think they're going to be able to run it and throw it. I think they're going to have 500 yards of offense. I think they're going to play really well in this game, and they have a history of playing well in Red Stick. And I think this LSU team has gotten better, but I still don't think it's near as good as it needs to be. I don't think they have an elite running game. I'm going to be very disappointed if Alabama can't do a good job against the run, and run the football themselves. And so I think Alabama's going to win the game in the trenches. I think they're not going to need Bryce to win the game. I think Bryce is just going to make the plays to put it away, and I think Alabama's going to win comfortably.
How about Georgia, Tennessee? How do you size that one up?
I think it's going to be a great game. Tennessee's playing with a lot of confidence, but Stetson has got to play better than he did last week. I didn't think he was super sharp because he had a couple of picks. The Georgia's going to have to run the football for 175 to 200 yards. And Tennessee's rush defense has been much better than I anticipated. Rodney Garner has done a great job with that D-line and improving them. The key is going to be Alabama for 3 quarters ran the ball on Tennessee pretty effectively, but they didn't run it well in the fourth quarter. If Georgia can run the ball and get 175-plus yards in this game and win the time of possession much like Alabama did, but do it a little more decisively, and if they force 2 turnovers or more, and Alabama forced 2, should have forced 4, but we're not going back there. But if they force multiple turnovers, I think Kirby will be more aggressive than Alabama was. But the key is going to be, everybody's talking about Georgia's secondary making mistakes in the third quarter and getting misaligned against Florida. If they don't have any busts, then I think Tennessee will make plays because nobody's going to stop their offense. But I think Georgia can contain it well enough. And I know, Georgia's sack numbers aren't great. But we had Brooks Austin on the Talking Ball earlier this week, and he made a point that their pressures are good as far as the percentage of pressures they get on quarterbacks. And sometimes it's not all about sacking the quarterback. It's about affecting him and getting in his face. And I think Georgia being at home, I think Georgia being still an elite-level defense, not as good as last year, but still really good, and with Jalen Carter back, I think Georgia will do enough to find a way to win this game. I think it's going to be a great game, but I would pick the Dogs somewhere around, I guess, maybe 35-30. I think it'll be a classic, but I think Stetson will put another chapter in the book for the Ballou and Bennett show where he'll never have to buy a drink again in his life in the state of Georgia.
So losing Nolan Smith, not a big deal?
Oh, it's a big deal, but Kirby and those guys already knew how banged up he was.
Yeah.
So this is something that Kirby's recruited well. He's like Alabama. He's stacked classes on top of each other. This is what makes it so remarkable about Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't stacked recruiting classes. Heck, Tennessee did more damage in the portal 2 years ago with Hendon Hooker than they did this past season. But they've maximized what they've had. They haven't suffered injuries, but I will say this. They had one gut check moment against Pitt, and they had a gut check moment against Alabama. They had a lot of help against Alabama, but Alabama didn't help themselves either by not making plays. They had, I think, but all these games, only one of them was on the road, and that was Pitt. This will be by far the most hostile atmosphere they face. I just think Georgia's going to find a way to win a close one. I would still eschew the points. The points, I think I checked this morning, it was still 8.5. I would lay those. I would take the points, but I still think Georgia's going to find a way to win the game.
Drew, great stuff as always. Appreciate the time, sir. And we do need to take our first time out. And T-Bob Hebert is set to join us on the other side as we'll continue to talk a little Alabama LSU.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison.
You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you'll find top brand kitchen appliances with innovative features that can do more, so your holidays can be more. Ovens with built-in air fryers for baking the perfect cookies. Dishwashers with smart tech to clean everything from bakeware to festive mugs. And high-capacity refrigerators to keep leftovers fresh. Shop Black Friday savings and get up to 30% off, plus instantly save up to $750 on select GE kitchen packages at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Offer valid November 2nd through November 30th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
Back here on the drive, counting down to tip-off as the Chargers come out of the tunnel, getting ready for the exhibition matchup between the Auburn Tigers and the UAH Chargers. As we're 30 minutes away, myself and Scott Tyson are down here inside Neville Arena, getting ready for basketball season to start off, and we'll have more Charger basketball coming up this weekend with games Saturday and Sunday as well in the Small College Basketball Classic, and what is two high-level matchups with taking on Nova Southeastern as well as Lincoln Memorial. That's two top 10 teams to start off the season, and all you're doing is coming here to Auburn and another top 15 squad on the Division I side. So quite a way to start the campaign here for the UAH Chargers. Wes is back in studio along with Trudy Arman. We are efforting T-Bob Hebert, who is slated to be on here momentarily to talk a little LSU football. And Wes, this team looks noticeably different from what we saw initially in New Orleans against Florida State.
Well, I mean, you saw flashes of them being good. You saw flashes of them being good in every game, and they still are making some mistakes, just not as many, right? And they seem to get fewer and fewer. It wasn't so long ago that Tennessee whipped their tail and you just assumed that then they'd go to Florida and get beat, and since then they've beat Florida and beat Ole Miss, and their season's turned around, and they're in the top 10, and their only two losses are a close loss to Florida State in the first game where they played horrible, and Tennessee where they just got monkey stomped.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Well, the front seven was talked quite a bit about, B.J. Ojolari among them. How good is that front seven for LSU, what you've seen, Wes?
Well, I mean, to me, the best player is number 5. He makes plays all over the field. If it wasn't for him in the – I forget, what's his name, Drew? The number 5 for LSU. he's such a good player. Ward, I think is his name.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah. He if it wasn't for him, they'd got killed by Florida State. He made every tackle in the and you know, it's just they always have talent. I said they'd be a dangerous team, and they're a dangerous team.
Yeah, and that was my thought. And when we were in Atlanta at the SEC Media Days, now after the Florida State game and the way they fell apart and the Tennessee performance, I was nervous that I had blown that one. But they've certainly steadied themselves, and they really played well against Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago in Red Stick.
Let's talk to T-Bob Hebert. I'm sorry, Wes. T-Bob is on the line right now. How are you, T-Bob?
Lloyd Christmas. What's up, y'all? Oh, Dumb and Dumber, my favorite time of year. What's going on, boys?
Here we go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you don't have any problems with corn dog traps down there, do you?
Little top 10 matchup down in Death Valley. Guy a little nervous? I mean, think about it, boys. You better not lose a game. If you lose, you have quite literally wasted the best quarterback that Alabama has ever had. I mean, if Bryce Young gets out of there without a championship, it is literally the greatest failure of Nick Saban's career.
He has a championship ring, though. Like everybody else has gone to Alabama the last 16 years.
It is a sure and definite sign of a declining empire.
So
actually, Lloyd, I'll do you one better. Even the players that committed to him at LSU got a ring. How about
That's
that?
right. In fact, I think that LSU's beaten Alabama 3 times in the last 40 years at Baton Rouge, and twice of them Coach Saban was the coach.
Yeah, and you know who was on the team the other time?
You did. I was pulling for you.
I've been done there, did that, and it's going to be a weird and wet one.
So let me ask you a
Saturday
question.
night.
What was your record against Alabama?
3-3. Should have been 3-2.
You played 6 games against Alabama?
Yes. Should have been 3-2 if not for you bums getting back in the national championship because you get the benefit of the doubt. You know what they call that? Tide privilege.
Hey, you know what they call what y'all did? An egg. Laying an egg. You know, you got to cross the 50 to win a game.
Hey, Lloyd, listen. You know what they call that? Les Miles versus Nick Saban. We should get a freaking medal for trying to play that game. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's the game your dad would raise hell at the end of the game, wasn't it?
Look at where the two teams. Look at where the two coaches went since. That was an even playing field. Are you ridiculous?
Well, I can't hear helping y'all keep hiring these coaches. That's not our fault.
Hey, that's fine because we got General Kelly, the Catholic from the North, ready to roll. All business, all process.
Yeah.
Let's frickin' ride, dude.
Well, let me tell you, there's no Alabama fans that are nervous, just to let you know.
Okay, good. I'm glad because the person who tells you he isn't nervous is the most nervous one you
That makes no sense
and you
whatsoever.
Know that in your heart.
That sounds like
true.
something people make up when they're drinking bourbon. What's the name of his show, Drew?
Whiskey and Wine. It's must see.
Whiskey and Wine. I heard it's must see.
Look, man. We got.
Didn't you do a hype video before the Tennessee game too? That's what I hear. You did a hype video before the Tennessee game. Are you like one of these pregame hyper guys?
Bro, what? How stupid and old can you sound? A pregame hyper guy? Have you watched college football over the last 20 years?
Yes.
Everybody makes a video before every game. What are you talking about?
You made a hype video? How'd that work out for you?
Oh, I mean, dude, the video was incredible. I smashed the CRT TV with a sledgehammer in the old LSU dorms. It was like time travel. It was amazing.
Well, I missed that. I'd like to see that.
Of our time. Yeah. It was
so we're at the old dorm. Where's the old dorm?
It's not my fault. In Tiger Stadium.
Oh.
Huey P. Long.
Yeah, I know the story. A great story.
On the stadium.
Yeah.
And the only way they would do it was if it was student housing. He said, screw it, we're adding dorms. My grandpa used to live in those dorms. Can you imagine how much dirty 1970 sex took place in those dorms? They were co-ed.
That'd be a good recruiting back then.
I'm ready to roll. I'm not rolling over like last year. I don't care if we get our ass kicked. We're going in with full hearts and open eyes, and we're going to fight.
Oh, boy, T-Bob. Boy, he's a mess, ain't he?
I know it. You know, the people that scream before the games are the ones that are scared usually.
Huh, then I must have been scared every game I ever played in.
Well, I watched you in the Auburn game, one game. You should have been scared if you weren't.
Hey,
who was that guy? Who was that guy you were playing against that day?
I don't think you were on TV. I'm not even sure that color television or cable television wasn't in it. I guess I could have listened to you, but I don't even know that my dad could produce sperm at the time.
So how was who was that guy you played against Auburn?
Nick Fairley.
God.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he was good. That wasn't your best performance.
Wait, who was that guy you played against? Newt Rockney? Who was it?
No. Actually, it was
Billy Cannon.
No, it was not Billy Cannon. It was Roland Barbet.
Oh, my bad.
Roland Barbet and Henry Thomas.
Yeah, Roland Barbet and Henry. That's right. I should have known.
Yeah. They were pretty good.
What I did not realize is T-Bob can sing, and we played it earlier. This was after the Ole Miss game. T-Bob, the singer.
If it sucks, running out of luck. Ole Miss. We can put top 10 frogs, now with one loss. Ole Miss. Best in the West, better than the rest. Ole Miss. Top 10 win. Your shark fin. Ole Miss. Can suck it, Rebels.
Well done, T-Bob.
I think he needs to seek help.
Good. You're going to need to seek help after Saturday night.
What kind of jingle do you have ready after LSU beats Alabama?
One where I bathe in the blood of my enemy and mate with their women and salt their fields so they can never grow crops again. They call it the Conan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What is best in life? To defeat your enemy and hear the lamentations of their women.
Oh, God.
You're watching Game of Thrones a little too closely.
Yeah.
Y'all should
I hope your daughters aren't listening to your show.
I hope they are. Because they got to know how real this is, okay? They got to know. It's a fight.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Tuscaloosa. We're not worried. We're not worried at all. We're going to win. Oh, but if we lose, we're going to whine and be like, the ref, did you see the ref? He slightly locked his elbows after the touchdown. Oh, my God, why is everybody out to get Alabama? It's not fair. I know we could have lost fair and square. What the hell, man?
T-Bob, what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Y'all probably did a whole hour on a ref signaling a touchdown. Pathetic.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I will say, though, that we heard the whining last year when you said y'all should have won the game.
Me?
Yeah.
That's why I'm
and the year before when that was the worst.
Over.
That was so throttled.
Last year I didn't get my
so was the Tennessee game, but you're going to bring that up, right?
Last year, LSU
you got throttled
into the end zone. Last year, LSU's throwing into the end zone to win the game, and I wasn't even excited. Never again will I allow cynicism to take over. Never again will I lose hope. Why? Because watch any movie, read any story. The hero with 1,000 faces. Hope is the friend of the protagonist, of the good guy. Fear is the weapon of the evil, of the dark, of the tide, of the crimson emperor. And yes, all reigns must come to an end eventually, and you can smell it on the air, boys.
This is clearly post-workout T-Bob Hebert.
No question. Unfortunately, he has to wake up from this dream.
I did want to get a. You're just egging him on. I love it. I did want to get a thought or two on Georgia, Tennessee. How do you size up that one, T-Bob?
Just call me Rocky Bob, Tennessee. Down with all the blue bloods. Anarchy. Down with the elites. The 1%. It's done. Now is the time of the people. The common people. We rise.
So it's going to be LSU taking on Tennessee?
Nick Saban. I don't even care. LSU, as long as they beat Alabama, I don't even care if they don't win the West. I just want you suckers to know that you came to Saturday Night Death Valley as double-digit favorites and got punched in the mouth.
Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness.
That's the only prism that y'all view anything through. Championships, okay? We're out here fighting, scrapping, appreciating every morsel that we get from the table.
No, you just said last year you didn't appreciate it at all.
You're fat.
Hey, listen, it sounds like to me that your therapist, you would change therapists, and he's not doing a very good job, and you might need to change therapists again.
What is life but one lesson learned? Each and every day. The man who stops learning is the man who dies. So I never stop growing. I never stop evolving. And I don't care if we lose by 40. I'll never stop coming.
Well, here's the deal. There's three things in life. Most people says there's two things in life that are guaranteed. One's death, which you're never going to outrun. The other is taxes.
And steal their kids.
And the next is the Tide does not lose in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, we gonna see. Except when they do. You better hope that rings true, because if not, you're going to be saying, boo-hoo, the refs cheated us. How did this happen? I think the refs are Gary Danielson hates us.
Oh, boy. Yeah. T-Bob's in rare form.
Yeah, Grandy said cut him off. He's lost it totally.
Yeah, let's go. Cut me off. Because it ain't getting any easier, baby. We're bringing this energy all week long.
What's impressed you most about the development of this LSU team, T-Bob?
Jaden Daniels! No, in all honesty, Jaden Daniels has been fantastic the past couple of weeks, especially after being, I wasn't sure. I was actually quite ready to say that he was not the answer. He's been great. One element of this team that's been excellent are the two freshman offensive tackles, but that's also my biggest fear for this game, right? Because they're going to get beat. Make no mistake about that. You dumbasses think that Will Anderson sucks, and he's second in the SEC in sacks and first in TFLs, yet all your fans are ribbing him, okay? He's awesome. So you have probably the best pair of defensive ends in the country.
Who are you getting this stuff from? Who do you get this stuff
Who's
from?
ripping Will Anderson?
Yeah. You Alabama fans.
What are you talking about?
All of you. I interact with Alabama fans on a daily basis.
Well, where?
That's
not North Alabama, clearly.
All my best friends. Anyway, the point is that I'm worried.
Are they carrying swords and talking about their children like this also?
Those freshman tackles are going to have a long day. They're going to get beat, and I think that Jaden Daniels can make up for a lot of that. But one of the things he's really improved on lately is trusting that O-line, sticking with his reads, delivering the ball. I get worried that some early pressure leads to maybe some happy feet, and that's how I could see a game snowballing out of control. What I do like about this matchup is a bit of the coaching matchup, right? With the staff that Nick Saban has assembled since both teams started taking a bye the week before the game, which is probably up to like 12 or 13 years now, I think that it's always been a pretty significant advantage for Alabama. And I wonder if House, who I've been impressed with this year, and Kelly and Denbrock, who has gotten better and better. I mean, I'm not going to talk about special teams. They've been awful. But I wonder if these coaches can coach over their head a little bit and come up with some wrinkles and get this team ready to play and locked in, not make too much of this. And really, the team should play fast and free. What do you got to lose? You were never supposed to be here. You're double-digit dog. Yeah. But
Brian Kelly, we placed him plenty of times before. We covered every time, like we will. We will Saturday.
Yeah, we're at Notre Dame.
Are you giving back a little of T-Bob's medicine right there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He needs it. Listen, I got him crying.
Because Notre Dame and LSU are the same school. That's right, Wes. That's right, Harry.
That's right. It was a combination of both.
No, look, he took over a team with 39 scholarship players. If Nick Saban loses, it is literally the biggest failure of his career. He's a 14-point favorite going against a team that is with 2 true freshman offensive tackles. Their best player, Mason Smith, out for the year. 39 scholarship players when he took over. If Alabama loses, it is
it's a big if. That's what I'm saying. It's not even an if, really.
Okay, good. You better hope so.
Well, I mean, I don't have to hope so.
You know what I'm doing, Wes? I wake up on Sunday, and I'm going to the Kingdom of Albright in Hammond, Louisiana for the Ren Fest. I'm fine either way. If y'all lose,
you're doing what now? What are you doing?
Half of y'all may not wake up. I'm going to Ren Fest.
Rib Fest.
No, Renaissance, like Kingdom of Albright.
I was upgrading your fest. I was hoping it was a rib fest.
Me too.
No, that's an awful upgrade. There are ribs at the Renaissance Fest. You don't need an entire rib fest. Renaissance Fest is literally the greatest time of each and every year. Dumbass.
Oh, T-Bob, you know we love you.
Oh, well, yeah.
There is no other like T-Bob Hebert.
Thanks, T-Bob.
Just wait. You're going to hear me in your dreams, boys. Yelling, creeping, pissing, bleeding. Let's go!
Thank you, T-Bob. That is T-Bob Hebert. Is he still going?
No.
Oh, boy. Well, it's been a rather full program. Incidentally, it is a Wednesday night. Crawdaddy is in the house, I do believe, and they will talk some Army football over on the Blitz. So you need to download that app or head over to the website, the Blitz Sports Radio, and check out Crawdaddy coming up in 10 minutes' time. But also, in 10 minutes' time, we've got UH Charger basketball, and they're booing the Chargers loudly here in Neville Arena. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. Charger basketball takes over the airwaves next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The